This city has spent so much time and so much energy and so much money trying to figure out the homelessness issue, and yet it doesn't feel like it's getting any better.
If you look at the demographics and the layout of San Francisco, there's mental health clinics all over the city.
People aren't getting connected with services. So it's very frustrating. We'll take somebody to the hospital, be very concerned about them. They're out with under an hour.
When people don't get the support that they need, and they are as marginalized and have as many challenges as the young people that we work with, the results can be horrible.
They just think that a police like to take them from where they were comfortable to some place that they don't want to be. So you go around and around, and that's why we're excited about DOOR, but that's only one place that we have right now that's a 24-hour, and they get full too. Because we have individuals that are like in the $1 million club.
Services in mental health are being cut left and right. The resource pages that we print out in January may need to be addendumed now because there's certain programs that have been cut. The city and county funds are not what they could be, where there may have been a time where we could provide services to folks on a repeat basis until they get it right, or until we get it right, until they are able to succeed in their service. We let them know that services are really not as available.
We have a memorial in one of our rooms that probably has now about 40 or 50 kids on it. Kids die on the streets. We also have clients who are in jail for murder. We have one client who's been in for 9.5 years and is getting out in 1.5 years. That's the reality.
If the call comes out as a 800 call, which is a mental illness call, then officer safety will be the number one priority, not only for the officers, but for the person that they're going to be talking to and the people around them.
The cops, the courts, the firefighters, the people in the ambulance, they have a real impact on these people's lives. Policemen are not social workers, and firefighters are not social workers, and EMTs are not social workers. And so it's important, if they sense that someone needs that, to try to partner with those places.
Because ultimately, even if the police department has interactions with these folks, because we're talking about people who are highly vulnerable, and much of it has to do with substance abuse, and a lot of it has to do with alcohol in particular, that these folks invariably end up interacting with the health department. And to me, that's where the money is. That's where the important action that you can take is, because as you get people healthier, they tend not to have as many difficult interactions with the rest of the community, including the police, including the fire department.
You can consider mobile crisis the 911 of psychiatry. You'll call 911 when a person is medically compromised, but when they're emotionally or psychiatrically compromised, you'd call mobile crisis. We have frequent flyers too, people who continuously are making their safety zone tracks into the ERs. Police recognize us even for riding down the street in our cars because we do so much work together. And they are getting these calls from the SRO hotels, which is single resident occupancy hotels. They know who it is and what the situation is before they even get there, because they've visited and they've followed up so many times.
But here's the thing. The police have a particular lens that they're looking through. So from their perspective, those are high users, yes. Say 30% of them may also be huge inpatient psychiatry users. Now, the police would have no way of knowing that.
If we were able to get some of that information that they had when we go in, we could have that as as collaborative information to where we could provide more direct service and not have to spend so much time and so much funds redoing things and trying things that maybe have already been tried.
And if nobody can talk to one another, it's a problem. I don't need to know how many times someone's had a suicide attempt or been hospitalized. I know it's not my business. But if I see somebody on the sidewalk day after day not ever getting any better, It's like, well, are you doing anything? Well, I can't discuss that with you. We need to discuss it because we need to fix it. If we just could get together to sit down and talk about treatment plans and be on the same page, it would really be helpful.
Now, as our new administration begins, we're also redoubling our commitment and our efforts to address one of San Francisco's most vexing and most, I think, significant challenges. And that's the challenge of homelessness, poverty, and panhandling.
When Mayor Newsom took office in 2004, he talked about homelessness being the number 1, 2, and 3 problem in San Francisco. So in July of 2005, we debuted the Coordinated Case Management System. We started picking up other data sets within DPH and also the fire department and with the police department of the shelter system. And what that has allowed us to do is figure out who the frequent flyers are, not just in one clinic, not just in one inpatient unit, but across systems. These are folks who specifically go to the emergency rooms over and over again, the sobering center over and over. They're picked up by the EMS, the fire department over and over. Folks who constantly needing psychiatric emergency care, the most vulnerable people who needed help first. It's the first time that we've had so much data about an individual in one place. We came up with 477 people that cost the city $20 million in services the previous year. And the top 10 people cost about $2.1 million. And so our case managers on the homeless outreach team go over this list and say, okay, these are the top 10 folks, let's go find them. And proactively start using chronic services that are much less expensive and are much more effective than the inpatient and emergency services that are just sort of a revolving door. Within the first 18 months, we were able to reduce the use of emergency rooms by 25%. We recognized how to get this done. And it can pay for services like ongoing psychiatric and medical care and housing and that sort of thing. But we focus on the most vulnerable. The bottom line is that there are many more people that are homeless in San Francisco than currently we're able to help all at once. You would need maybe 10 times the system that we have today to address the needs of 6,200 people. The trick is to have a huge effort up front so that you're able to drive down that number down to a manageable number from 6,000 maybe to a few hundred. And then you have to have enough services that you need for maintenance. Now it's a matter of taking it to scale.